Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I thank you very much for your responses and comments from the video. I know what I'm talking about. I do appreciate your comments. I love reading your comments because you're just a great audience. You really are a good audience to interact with. So thank you for your responses. Someone had asked me earlier to speak about Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute. And some people want to say that, oh, it was just a reaction and he didn't mean anything by it. He absolutely did. He is making a statement in America and he is testing Americans. He's like a kid in a candy store. He's just running around trying everything, trying to see what he likes the best. He cannot figure out how he has gotten to America and done so well when so many Americans haven't done as well as he has. Now they're saying he's the richest man in the world and all of that. Yes, because he's got all these tax breaks and all of this money from the United States government. And I would wager that he's no smarter than the average smart American of any race. But he was able to come here with an idea, and they bought into that idea, trying to stay ahead of China and India or somebody else. But he is testing the American people. Now, he knew doing that Nazi salute was going to offend the Jewish people, but they so wanted to identify with him that up to that point they were saying, oh no, he's not a racist, he's not this, he's not that. But then when he did that Nazi salute, and then he made another statement, I can't remember what the statement is now, they had to concede that this man might not be our friend. Well, black Americans had already read his dance card, and black Americans had already said he was a racist. So he wasn't fooling black Americans, and I'm glad that black America stay woke, because we know that if he's going to be friends with people like Donald Trump, he's not necessarily going to be our friend. But yet and still, he wants to run his mouth like everybody else. Everybody wants to come to the United States and tell black Americans to forget about our history. Forget about slavery. Forget about all the things that happened to you after slavery. Forget about all that stuff. You're living in a big country. You're living in a first world country. Yes, we're living in a first world country that we built. So we don't have a reason to be running around being grateful to everybody. They ought to be grateful to us, because without chattel slavery, there is no America. But he has the answer. Everybody has the answer to black Americans' problems. You just need to get over it. Stop playing the victim. If you say, yes, my family was enslaved, my family went through Jim Crow, yes, they denied black farmers loans to build their crops, yes, the law of eminent domain and other trickeries took land from black America. Oh, you're playing the victim. Oh, you're playing the victim. So if we speak our truth, we're playing the victim. So Elon Musk is no different from anybody else who comes to America. He knows if he starts criticizing and talking about black Americans, that is the best way to ingratiate himself to the white power structure. So that's what he's doing. But yet and still, he wants to appear woke, that he's looking at the big picture, that he can see things from the top down. So Don Lemon had an interview with him a few days ago, and this was very revealing about Elon Musk.
Do you have any desire to understand what many people of color and even trans people, how they feel about this country and how they're treated in this country? If they say and they believe that they are treated a certain way in this country, why don't you believe them?
You cannot have a situation where someone is a self-described victim, and they just get to be that because that's how they feel.
I think that does happen in some cases, but not all cases. And I think that not understanding the history of the country, I think, is a real shame. Look,
We should understand the history of the country and other countries.
I've had incredible opportunities as a person of color.
Right.
But I've also
You did very well.
But I've also been discriminated against, and I know that I have. And I know that that's real. And for someone to say that that isn't happening, I should not, I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it's.
I didn't say
it's
that
not
you
happening.
said
I'm
it.
saying that we want to. We as a country should move beyond questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, you know, their their character and their skills.
I don't think that anyone will disagree with that.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is that that's not happening and is not equal for everyone. That those opportunities don't happen for everyone. And I am a living example that they don't. I know that they don't because I live it.
You've been incredibly successful.
I have been,
And I
in
think-
spite of it all. But I know what I know. I've experienced what I've experienced. You haven't done that, and I cannot. I don't know what it's like to be from South Africa. I don't know what it's like to be a white man. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a Latino person. I don't know that, so I wouldn't speak for them and just say you need to move on. That's not for me to say. I believe that the country. It would be great if the country could live up to that ideal.
So you see what I mean? He wants to have the answer. The answer is for you to just move on from what happened to you. They say he is autistic, and if that is true, he's a high functioning autistic person. But he's coming with the same old bull. You ought to get over it. He knows what needs to happen. He is a white man that was able to leverage everything that a white person coming to the United States can leverage, things that the average black person cannot. And yet he wants to be the authority on what needs to happen in the United States when I don't even know if he's here legally. I really don't. But that same mindset of you just need to move on. You just need to get past it because that is what would make me comfortable. Because as long as black Americans talk about slavery, as long as we talk about Jim Crow, as long as we talk about discrimination, redlining, a poor educational system, segregation in every aspect of American life, that points the finger at the fact that you white people are not so great because you rode on the backs of black people. That is why they want us to shut up because they don't want us to remind them that they have been riding on our backs from the beginning. So that's how come they want us to shut up. That's how come they want us to forget the history. That's why they want to erase the history. And that is why they use divide and conquer tactics with us whenever they can. There are always black people who are willing to jump on board with white people to discredit black people, but they usually don't come to any good end. White Americans do not want to be reminded that black Americans are responsible for their success. The wealth that was built in this country at the beginning was built on the backs of our ancestors. The end. And say what you will about Don Lemon, he will remind white people that they have unearned success in America. One of the reasons that Don Lemon was fired from CNN because he was willing to stand 10 toes down with Vivek Ramaswamy telling him the very same thing. You haven't walked a mile in my shoes. You can't tell me what I need to do. You can't give my history to me. I know my history. What is your history? He came from South Africa. Elon Musk did same thing, going in there riding in on the backs of the South Africans. So everywhere these people go, people got to fight them to get them off their backs. And then they want to say, well, you need to get over it. We need to get over it. Well, people can't get over it. We're the only people who are expected to forget our history. And it's just not going to happen. But this is what I think about Elon Musk. I think that he is testing the American people, but I believe that he's going to wear out welcome with white Americans because they might not be the smartest, but they are the shrewdest. And anybody coming here trying to usurp them is going to have a short leash. And so I'm just waiting to see how far Elon Musk can go. As for me, I don't think very much of him. He's just like all the rest of them, taking advantage of something that he really hasn't earned. It's going to be interesting to see how things work out for him over time because he's smart enough to know that he has to stay on the right side of the American power structure to do the things that he wants to do. But at the same time, he wants to have a voice of reason to make it seem like I'm the voice of reason. He is not the voice of reason. He's spewing the same old white racist BS that the rest of them spew. We are victims. We have been victims of a very evil system that took advantage of our family members from the first day before the country was even formed. So that's what I think about Elon Musk. He's just another interloper, freeloader that has ridden in on the wealth of America, who built their wealth on the backs of black people, and then wants to come here and try to lecture black people just like he knows everything, and he does not. So the bottom line for me is I don't think very much of him either. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about this video. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good day.